What's up, everybody? Smooth Cosplayer here, your favorite salsa dancing cosplayer. Today I want to give a little advice and encouragement to some of the newer cosplayers out there, because I see this question come up a lot in Facebook groups, other parts of social media. I see it come up a couple of times a year. It's definitely a question that I had when I was coming up, when I first started cosplaying. So it definitely resonates with me. It's the same question posed in several different ways. People will ask, how many times can I wear this cosplay? I wore this cosplay at the last con. Can I wear it to the next con that I go to? I wore this cosplay at this particular con last year. Can I wear it again to this con this year? Should I retire this cosplay? Is anybody getting tired of this cosplay? So on and so forth. And again, I had that same question. The second time I went to a convention, Dragon Con 2013, I had gone the only one convention before that was Dragon Con 2012. I didn't really, I had a great time, but I didn't really make any friendships or connections that day. So I didn't really know about the cosplay scene. I didn't know of any other cons to go to. So I spent a whole year before I went to another convention. And of course, I procrastinated in between. So I didn't come up with a new costume in between. So insecurity started kicking in, and I was like, dang, I only got this one costume and I wore it last year. Can I do it again this year? And I asked a friend of mine who had been going to Dragon Con for many years prior to me starting to go. And I asked her, I was like, hey, can I wear this costume again? Is that okay? Is that frowned upon? Are people going to judge me? All that kind of stuff. And she basically eased my fears with that. She said, people do that all the time. People reuse their costumes all the time. People wear the same costume to every con they go to. You may even get to the point where where people start to recognize you for that costume and look forward to seeing you in that costume again. So once she said that, I never looked back. So I stopped worrying about that. But the short answer to that question is yes, you can. You can wear that costume as many times as you want to. Let me hit you guys with two main points as to why that is totally okay. Number one, no one who matters cares about how many times you wear that costume. Well, nobody cares in a negative sense anyway. So all of us human beings, we are very self-centered. I don't mean that in an arrogant and selfish, conceited way. I say that to say we are all so concerned and wrapped up in our own endeavors that we don't really have time to worry about what somebody else is doing. So just that alone, nobody is worried about whether or not you wore that costume to the last con you were at or the last time they saw you. Nobody, and I say this in a good way, nobody's checking for you like that. Nobody is keeping tabs on how many times you wore that costume. And like I said, nobody who matters does. There are going to be your jerks, your a-holes, your trolls, your haters out there who will say, he wore that last year, or she wore that last year, they wore that the last con. Very few people are doing that. There's probably somebody out there doing that. I haven't run into them myself. I haven't seen anybody make posts about someone saying that to them. So I don't think it's a thing, but if it is, it's very rare. And if by chance you do run into that rare person, just know that person's a jerk. That person's an a-hole. That person's just a troll. That's not somebody you want to invest your time in. That's not somebody you want to associate with. That person got their own negativity going on. So don't worry about it. If somebody does happen to say something to you about wearing that costume before, don't even worry about it. Just brush that off. You don't need them. But yeah, the vast majority of people aren't going to care that you've worn it already. They'll actually care in a good way. Like I said, like my friend was telling me, you may even get to a point where someone wants to see you in that costume again. I know there have been plenty of times where I've been at a convention, and whether it's a big or small convention, you start checking Instagram, you start checking social media later on, and you start seeing photos pop up at the convention, and you're like, dang, there's this awesome costume that I missed. And no matter how long you stay out, no matter how well you travel the con, you're going to miss something, and you're going to see somebody's costume that was there. You could be like, crap, I would have wanted to get a picture of that myself. So people are going to be excited to see you in that costume again. There are certain people who, if I see them at this con, but I don't see them in this costume, I'm a little disappointed because I love to see it in person. Or if I have a costume that goes with the character that they're wearing. I would have wanted to take a picture of them in that. So people check for you in a good way, but people aren't checking for you to see if you're like not making new stuff. Nobody's doing that. Like, and again, if anybody's doing that, they're just being negative. They got their own stuff to work through. So second point, before I give you this point, I'll give you a little example here. So you guys know I dance and teach salsa. I've even performed a few times. Now, when you perform, you know, you've come up with this choreography, or your dance team director came up with the choreography or whatever, and you rehearse, you practice, you get your technique down, you get your stage presence down, all the kind of stuff. You put all this hard work into it, and then you perform it. You don't put all that hard work of practicing it to perform just to perform it once. Dance groups I've been in, dance teams I've been on, so on and so forth, we always perform that same routine a gajillion times, like, or as many times as we get invited or get a chance to perform it. So yeah, you don't perform that much just to do it once. I say that same thing for cosplayers. You spent too much time and energy, too much money, too much, whatever amount you put into that costume, you did too much of that to just wear it once. You put way too much time, energy, money, research, all of that into the costume that you're wearing. You put way too much energy into it to just wear it once. To me, it makes no sense to wear it once. It makes no sense to just wear it just even twice. So however, like, I say, milk that thing. Like, wear it until you get tired of it. Wear it until you get tired. Don't worry about anybody else getting tired of it. Like I said, if somebody else gets tired of it, that's their problem. Wear it until you get tired of it. Wear it until you feel like you need to move on from it. Do you, okay? Like I said, you put too much blood, sweat, and tears into that cosplay. I know a lot of people like retired cosplays, which that's not something I'm against, but I don't see myself doing that just because I only average about 3 cons a year. So I don't think any of my costumes have enough mileage on them for me to justify like retiring them. And for y'all who don't know, like, retiring a cosplay meaning, hey, I'm not wearing that cosplay again. Yeah, like I said, I don't go to enough cons to justify retiring any of mine. And there are certain cosplays of mine that I've spent so much money on, I don't think I will ever retire them. My Napa cosplay, like, I dropped like about $350 on that. I ain't never retiring that one unless I'm on my way, I'm slimming down, but unless I, let myself go and get too big, I'm never going to retire that, too big to where I can't fit it. My Python Viper cosplay, the helmet by itself was $250. Never retiring that one. There's a couple of ones that I have not done yet, but they're going to cost me a lot. Probably not going to retire them just because I'm like, I invested too much into them to ever say I won't ever wear it again. So yeah, I hope that clears that question up for a lot of y'all. Like I said, don't ever feel like, somebody's going to get tired of your cosplay. Somebody's going to get tired of seeing you in it. The only person that you should worry about getting tired of it is you. If you're tired of it, then put it to rest. Other than that, rock that thing, milk it, get your money's worth, get your time worth, do it until it stops making you feel good. And, just cosplay your way. Wear that costume however many times to however many cons. If you want to wear it several days at the same con, as long as you Febreze that thing down. But yeah, do you at the end of the day. That's it. Y'all have a good night. Y'all have a good time. Whatever con you're going to next. Good luck with your costume builds. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, leave me some comments, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.